Good afternoon and welcome to our Friday show on the mark with Inside News. And once again, I've got Shaheel with me. We're going to try and go through this card as best as we can. I've spotted one or two horses that I think is worthwhile bankering, and then we're going to try and find a value bet somewhere in the card. Welcome, Shaheel. And looks like a sort of tough card, but there is one or two horses that should win. But the other races are pretty tough.
They are. It's a pretty competitive card this week, so let's see how we go.
All right, let's kick off with race 1, a 1500 meter rating, 0.25 rating. Never easy to find winners in these 0.25s. Shaheel, who are you leaning towards here?
I actually like number 7, Silver Rock, a 4-year-old. He's got only 10 career stats here in Mauritius. His form of last race, that was worked out pretty well because there was great 5-8 in that race. He ran second and came out and won last time. There was also Mr. Hardy who came out and won last week in a very impressive way. Silver Rock, he was tried with the blinkers in a barrier trial 2 or 3 weeks ago and he did very well. I'm happy to see that he's running with his equipment. He's drawn 8, but that shouldn't be a problem because he comes from off the pace, and I do think Silver Rock in this category, if he jumps well, he should be able to grab a win. I see he's trading around 8-1, so I'm going to make him my value bet too.
Okay, yeah, it's interesting to see they are trying the blinkers on first time out. He's got some good form. If you go back to his penultimate run, he did actually finish in front of Napoli on that particular day. Napoli came out and ran a good second to grade 5-8. So let's have a look how it goes. Redwood Valley, that was a nice win last time. I thought it was a very good ride by Daryl Holland to get him up. I think that he's made further improvement. I think you've got to respect Redwood Valley. And then obviously Napoli, great run to grade 5-8 last time. He's also just looks like he's just sort of ready to pick up his first win in Mauritius, Napoli. What about 8 Cities? It's 2 good runs this season. The stable's in form. You like him?
Yeah, 2 nice third this season, like you said. We were talking about that last time. I think you don't really like the thing that they put the blinkers on him. I see that the blinkers on again. Probably he can try and lead in this race if Starsky doesn't want to lead. Probably the distance a bit too sharp for Starsky. So it could be a match race between these two to get to the front.
Yeah, we've got Social Network out that also likes to be up there as well. So not going to be easy for 8 Cities. End of the day, tough race. It looks like you're leaning towards number 7, Silver Rock. I'm going to lean towards number 8, Redwood Valley. I like the way he won last time. Daryl Holland gave him a great ride. He knows him. Obviously, Valorant came out and won as well. So that form was franked. So tough race to start off. But I'm going to go 8, Redwood Valley to beat 3, Napoli. And then I like your selection, number 7, Silver Rock.
I'll go the other way around. I'm going to go with 7, 8, and 3.
Okay, great. Well, that's the first race done and dusted. Let's hope you get through your pick 8 if you are a pick 8 player. Never easy, those first races. Right, race 2, 1500 meter benchmark 31, and one of my favorite horses running here, Till Dawn. I had a look at the weights this morning. I see he's lost, I think it was 8 kilos here, I'm not mistaken. Just at the top of my head, I think he's lost 8 kilos. Remember, he was 22 kilograms heavier than his last run last season. So I like the fact that he's lost some weight. I like the way that this horse has been working. He's drawn 2. The form's pretty good. Mind-blowing. Came out and won when he beat Afdeek. So everything's leaning towards Till Dawn. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to banker him in my pick 8, Till Dawn. It's I don't think it's the greatest of fields. Obviously, popped the question. There was a good run last time behind From the Ashes when he ran on strongly with Pravesh Haril. This time, Daryl Holland on his back. He must have a chance as well. But at the end of the day, I think Till Dawn's going to be a tough nut to crack.
I do agree with you, like you said, and you said it all. He was pretty unlucky to lose by only a short head last time, probably in need of the run too. Drawn 2, that would put him in a box seat this time. He'll be just behind the leaders, very handy. Like you said, he's lost weight, so that should be a good sign. Mind-blowing has come out and won even in his race before with Varside. Varside's a very good horse. The 1500 meters shouldn't be a problem for this horse. He's run up to a mile back in South Africa, so I don't see any reason why he will lose.
Yeah, I think that the 1500 will probably suit him a little bit better than the 1400. If you have a look at his finishing times in both these races in Mauritius, they've been pretty good finishing times over 1400. Sort of gives us a little bit of an indication that the extra 100 meters is going to suit him. So Till Dawn, I'm going to make him hard to beat. I think obviously you have to respect number 1, pop the question. Jet Path, he's coming up in sort of rating. He's won 2 very good races. He beat Cyber Special won. But probably going to be a little bit tougher for him. There's Anton Ruskin in the race, although he's drawn quite wide. But I would imagine Jet Path's probably going to lead, although there's Student Grant drawn 1 as well. So not going to be easy for Jet Path. I think everything's just going to play into the hands of Till Dawn. He's drawn 2. probably going to have the run of the race and probably be tough to beat.
Yeah, that's right. So Till Dawn for the win. I'll probably go for Anton Ruskin for a second. He's a horse that I really like. Even if you're drawn in the bushes, drawn 11, I'm sure Bruno Rice will have a plan. And if you can try to settle him, get him one off, try to get a cover, I'm sure he'll be running on at the end. So I'm going to go with number 9 to beat number 10 and probably number 1 for third.
Okay, great. All right, let's move over to race 3, 1400 meter benchmark 46. Another sort of tough race. One of your Jeu de Gallows, one of the horses you spotted in your dreams. There was a very good second to Boya last time when he led. I would imagine he's probably going to lead here as well, from what I've seen. What I like about In Your Dreams, he's run 2 good races in this rating. He's sort of proven himself. Well, he won and he's run second in the benchmark 46, even though the one was a 990, one was a 1500. He's quite versatile, this horse. Great run to Boya. What do you think In Your Dreams? Would you make him your first choice, or is there anything else you prefer?
No, I will make him my first. I'm pretty bullish about his chances, though, because of that featherweight and the nice draw. He shouldn't have a problem to lead. Last time he didn't want to go down without the fight, and Boria is a star in the making, I do believe. Boria, he gave him a real fight in Your Dreams. The 1400 shouldn't be a problem. Yes, he's up in class, but it's not the most competitive of fields back in a benchmark of 46, so I do think he'll be a very tough horse to beat.
Yeah, another horse that's done well in 46 is the other lightweight. That's Green Flash Sunset. And this was just, to me, just seems like he's improving all the time. His work's been pretty good. I would imagine he would have needed that first 990 when he ran behind Barrack Street. He's drawn 1. And I think he's been a little bit of a difficult horse to ride this year. I've noticed he sort of plays around with his head. The fact that he's going to be drawn 1, Daryl Holland will be able to sit him wherever he wants. I think Green Flash Sunset definitely going to be the biggest danger to In Your Dreams. I really like the chances of Green Flash Sunset. Have you spotted Green Flash Sunset?
Not really, but I do remember he was very green around the turns last time. He's drawn 1 this time. Hopefully he doesn't get boxed inside, but let's see how he goes.
Okay, what else do you want to talk about in this race? He's pretty open.
It is. I do like number 5 actually, Sky High Flying. He's been working well for a pretty good time now. His last run against Mambo Rock last year was a pretty impressive one because he was finishing off very strongly that day. Even if he finished 7, but that was only 2 lengths of Mambo Rock. He's had a lot of work, even if he has been off for 6 months. So I do think he has a place chance. And obviously Glorious Goodwood, I did fancy him on his first run up this season. He finished 4th against Woltag. His run on International Day against In Your Dreams was a pretty impressive one too. So I'm going to go with these 3 horses.
All right, I do agree with. I've made Sky High Flyer my third choice. I like the way he's been working this horse, and I like the fact that he's run behind horses like Henry Tudor. Well, he beat Henry Tudor. A very good run to Mutsi. Mutsi's no slouch on his day, and that was in the benchmark 46. So he's proven himself in this rating. Whereas, well, In Your Dreams and Green Flash Sunset, they're sort of coming up the division. Sky High Flyer has proven himself in this division, so you have to respect his chances. I definitely think he has the credentials to win a race like this, so definitely would be adding him into my pick 8. Before we move over, I'm going 8, 9, 5?
8, 5 and 2.
All right. Okay, race 4, 1650, benchmark 51. And I have to say, Manuel Nunes has got some great rides. He's got terrific rides. In fact, so has Daryl Holland. Yeah, going through the card, and both of these jockeys have got some very good rides. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to win that top jockey at the end of the day. But Moonrise Sensation, the reason I really like this horse is I put a big circle around the ratings that this horse has been competing in, and he's really run behind some decent horses. There was a very good run when he got beat a length by Woltag in a 1450, obviously short of Moonrise Sensation's best. Probably needed that run. He has come on sensationally from what I've seen in the training, really working well. He's drawn 7, but he can sort of come from midfield, so I don't think the 7 draws too much of a problem for him. I would imagine he's going to be my first choice. It's just one horse I got a lot of respect about. Once again, Daryl Holland, Ricky Mangot team up. Number 1, Ali Sheba. He only finished a length, just under a length and a half behind Woltag last time. I just think that the 1650 is going to suit him a lot better than the 1450.
Yeah, that's right. I did mention him on Jeu de Gallo on Wednesday. He's been working pretty well. Like you said, probably needed the run first time out. He was pretty green that day. I couldn't understand why he hanged out that much in the straight. Like you said, the 1650 will suit him down to the ground. The unfortunate thing is the 8th barrier. I do think he's a horse that does like to be covered up. So let's see how Daryl Holland tries to settle him and manages him. Another horse that I'd like to touch on apart from Moonrise Sensation would be Yankee Doodle Dandy. He's been such a consistent horse. He was very unlucky to be third to Crazy Vision, but he redeemed himself himself very nicely against Bad Attitude last time out. He's been working well too, Yankee Doodle Dandy, and I think 1650 is a great distance for him. So I do think it's a triple threat match between these three.
Yeah, it looks like that on form. There's probably a couple of horses coming up the divisions like Redline Captain, Declarator. He looks like Declarator might just need it, in my opinion. Redline Captain, there was a good run behind Perplexing. There's sort of like a collateral form with him and Yankee Doodle Dandy, but I do prefer Yankee Doodle Dandy because he just runs his guts out every time he goes into the starting stalls. He really puts in a great performance, so I definitely agree. I think 1, 3, and 4, but not in that order. 3, 1, and 4 will be my selections.
I'm going to go with 3, 4, and 1.
All right, race 5, 1365. It's a 55 plus. Another sort of tough race. I really like the look of number 2, Yankee Captain. I like him probably because I just think that this race is going to work out in his favor. He's drawn 1. He likes to be handy, and then you have a look at Al Mariachi, drawn 2. He's probably going to jump off and lead. That's just going to allow Naresh Jaglal to sort of just put him right behind Al Mariachi, and he'll probably just wait for that he'll probably wait for the inside straight. Very similar to how Robbie Frad used to ride him. He's got some cracking form, this horse, and I thought there was a great run first time up in 990, where he only got beat a length and a half. He needed that run. He's a beautiful son of Captain Al Source. I really like this horse, and I remember Robbie Frad sort of really rated him last year as well. So Yankee Captain, I'm going to make him my first choice in a tough race. Where are you leaning, Shaheel? What do you like here? It's not an easy race, the 5th race.
Yeah, when I was going through this card last week, I thought this is the most open race of the card. I'll probably go with Al Mariachi. We both really like this horse since last year. The reason why I'm going to go with him is that 1365. I do think he's the best horse on 1365 in this card. Being drawn to and with the 56 kgs, I do think he'll jump out and try to lead, because there are other front runners like Cara or even Back who has a lot of pace, but I do think Al Mariachi has the quickest gate speed and he'll try to jump off and lead. And on a 1365, I do believe it'd be very hard for them to peg him back.
Yeah, and have a look at Akash Balu. I think he's ridden, if I'm not mistaken, he's ridden him twice. He won with him by over 6 lengths, and then he ran a very good second to Budapest. Yeah. Maybe last time we went a little bit too quick with Sunil Basant when Ernie came and caught him.
And he got beat by a great baritone, huh?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, sorry, not Ernie, it was Baritone, I beg your pardon. Ernie is in the race. That was a cracking run last time when they dropped him a division or 2. You can never write Ernie off. He always puts in a good performance. And then those horses are drawn 1, 2, and 3. I think that race is probably going to work out between those horses drawn 1, 2, and 3, in my opinion. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
Actually, yeah, I do like number 1 and 3, actually. Nottinghamshire, I do believe we have to ignore that last run on the 990. Probably something we want to miss with him, but even then, he just finished under the length of Prince of Thieves. I do believe we have to give him another chance, Nottinghamshire. Also, Cara, he always runs his heart out. I know he's got a lot of fans, Cara. Unfortunately, he's drawn 9. If Shaheel Ayadassen can get him into a one-off position, I'm sure he'll be sprinting out in the home stretch and he should be there for the quartets.
Your trifecta.
I'm probably going to go with Al Mariachi to beat Nottinghamshire and Cara.
Okay, I'm going Al Mariachi, and I'm expecting a very sorry, not Al Mariachi. I'm Yankee Captain, and obviously you can't ignore Al Mariachi. I like the fact that the jockey and the horse sort of get on quite well, and it looks like they could maybe, especially with the 56, they could maybe pull it off again. Right, then it's the 6th race. It's the first leg of the 4-year-old championship, and just like the 3-year-old championship, a little bit of a disappointing first leg. Only 5 runners. I reckon this horse looks like a penalty kick, White River, purely on that run in the Duchess. He beat Nebula. Nebula came out and absolutely, well, he annihilated his field when he ran. So that form line's there. Obviously, the Duchess was run at weight for age terms. A horse like Palace is now going to be 5 kilograms better off, even though he got beat 8 lengths. 5 kilograms is quite a lot, and obviously Palace will be a bit fitter this time. But White River, I don't think that 2 1/4 length winning margin suggests how well he won. If you remember correctly, Derek David was doing his normal antics 50 to go, and he probably won a lot easier than the winning margin suggests. So I think White River going to be a very, very tough horse to beat.
Yeah, exactly the same thing that I've written. We won very impressively, like you said. Nebula came out and won, and even Play Under the Tune came out and won to frank the form of the Duchess. He's a very versatile sort. He can run anywhere, and he just switches on when the jockey asks him to switch on. And obviously, Manuel Nunes has a 100% record, like you were mentioning, with the Ramesh Gajada stable being drawn 1. I do think he'll be in the box seat. How do you see this race pan out? Obviously, I think Parapalis and Will Geraint will try to lead. Do you think White River will just sit just behind him?
Yeah, well, you know, being drawn 1, it obviously makes your race or your life a lot easier. You don't have to sort of jostle and find a position. He can put him wherever he wants. He'll probably be just behind those sort of front runners. And like Derek David rode him last time, he just started travelling so well through the 400. And I think Derek's biggest problem when he won the Duchess was trying to, you know, get him out. Well, he was one off, but I think that's probably going to be the only sort of problem, is that hopefully he doesn't get stuck on the fence. But he's got such a good turn of foot, this horse. Even if he is stuck on the fence, I think when he quickens up, he'll quicken away from this field, in my opinion. I think he's going to be too good for them, White River. I'm going to bank him.
Same for me too.
All right. Lovely. Right, let's move over to race 7. It's a 1450 benchmark 36. Once again, not the easiest of races. On form, it looks like a 2-horse race, Aftik and Texas Sky. Unfortunately, Texas Sky is drawn 10 out of 10. I tell you, if this horse had a draw, I couldn't see him getting beat. But obviously, you know, that 10 draw is just going to make it that sort of much tougher for him. I like the way this horse won last time. I like the way that sort of that last 100 meters, he just sort of quickened away again. And he beat Chester's Wish. Okay, Chester's Wish probably not the greatest racehorse on the island, but he's a hard knocker. But you can't take anything away from the way that he won. But obviously that poor draw is not in his favour.
Exactly, like you said, the pool draw, but being a front runner, to be able to cross over from the 10th draw on a 1450, that will be very, very difficult. So I'm going to lean towards number 1, Aftik. I did mention him on Jour de Galop again Wednesday morning. He's a horse that I really like. I was a bit disappointed when he lost last time. I couldn't understand why he hanged out. Hopefully he won't do that again tomorrow. I know you like the thing that he must be drawn on the inside. Unfortunately, he's not drawn too well either. He's drawn 7. So let's see how Daryl Holland tries to manage and get him in a position. But like you said, could be a match race between 1 and 3.
Yeah, the way I see this race being run, I would imagine Daryl Holland will probably have in his mind that he wants to bounce him out, get him up onto the fence, and then hopefully he'll be waiting for Texas Sky to come around and lead and show him the way. You know, I've actually got, I mean, we've spoken about Texas Sky, but I've actually got Aftik as my first choice. I honestly believe that Daryl Holland knows him now. He's a top jockey. He's going to take the precaution. I can guarantee you he's going to have his stick in the left hand coming into the straight, just in case he wants to. Well, it wasn't really hanging. I mean, he literally ducked out. So I think he's going to take the precaution. He'll have his stick in the left hand. He'll be waiting this time. I think Aftik's going to be my first choice. Obviously, if Texas Sky was drawn better, I would have definitely gone with Texas Sky. But I know that 1450 drawn 10. You got it. Just, you know, if you don't get there quickly, it's going to be tough. You know.
A horse that you did mention on Jour de Galop, number 9, King's Empire.
Yeah, that's my third choice. I like the way that this horse has improved. He's matured over the off season as well. Just everything I like about this horse. I just think that he's sort of ready to run a crack of this horse. And once again, Manuel Nunes in the irons. I like this horse, King's Empire. I believe that he's going to give them a little bit of a run for their money.
My third choice actually would be number 6, the Brass Bell. He's always in the placings. Second to Henry Tudor, 4th to Galatero, 3rd to Secret Eden from the Ashes. Unfortunately, he's drawn 9. Shaheel Ayadassen gets the right, but he's a horse that comes from off the pace, and I'm sure he'll be running on at the end.
Yeah, the stable companion Aspara. I would imagine Naresh Juggler went for Aspara purely on the draw. Whether or not he had the choice before the races, or I mean the draws or afterwards, we don't know. But Aspara's on his day. He's not a bad horse either. So have to say, the 7th race, if you are a exotic bet player, looks like you're going to have to, well, you take a chance. You either go with the 2 fancied horses, 1 and 3, or you're going to have to load. All right, let's move over to race 8. It is the lucky last, a 990 benchmark 31. And talking about the opposite of lucky is obviously unlucky. And AP Strike last time, you have to say, very, very unlucky loser. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong with him. And I do believe that if things go right for him this time, he should make amends.
He should, like you said, very unlucky not to find the right gap at the right time, Manuel Nunes. I'm sure he'll be more precaution tomorrow. The 990 suits him down to the ground. I see an interview of Sham and he said the horse is in striking condition. He's working pretty well. So AP Strike should be a tough horse to beat.
Yeah, he's a 9-year-old, but he always puts in a good performance, especially over the 990. I mean, if you look at his form, if you ignore those 2 runs over 1400 and 1450, the 990 form is very, very good. So AP Strike, you have to respect. Roman Dancer, he's got a terrific 2-year-old form, juvenile form back in South Africa. It was a nice barrier trial, I think it was last week or the week before, I'm not sure. Yes, he is drawn 8, but I would imagine if he's not too green, he'll probably be running on this horse because he's probably a little bit better than the rest of the field. And I would imagine being bought as a 2-year-old, I think he's a little bit better than that rating of 29. So Roman Dancer, I definitely think that he's going to run a cracker. My third choice, Gordon Stoon, cracking debut when Kudu 2. Maybe that second run syndrome last time. But you know, he's back. He's back, and I suppose you have to respect him. He's drawn 3, has to have some sort of chance.
Yeah, right. Just coming back to Roman Dancer, this horse has been off for 10 months, and if I'm not mistaken, I think he had a little setback last year, was it, or the beginning of this year? So I'd just like to give him one more run and see how he goes. I'll probably go for second with number 8, Flying Arrow. I did talk on his Barra trial Tuesday morning, and that was pretty impressive. I remember you were telling me that he's a horse that does like to go to the front, but never finds extra. In fact, if you look at the comments section, you'll see that there's the comments always says no extra, no extra, no extra. Hopefully, now that he's in Mauritius, he will find the extra. So let's see how he goes, but he's going to have to overcome that 9th barrier. And obviously for third, probably Golden Stone. He's drawn 3, he probably will try to lead. Like you said, probably the second run syndrome last time out. So let's see if he can get lucky for the third time.
Yeah, there was an impressive barrier trial from Flying Arrow. It's tremendous speed. Unfortunately, he's drawn 9, but I suppose that speed that he showed in that barrier trial, he might just have enough speed to get off to the front, but whether or not he's going to stay, we don't know. I think AP Strike, I think this race is going to be run to suit him down to the ground. I think I'm going to make him I'm going to make him my first choice. To beat Roman Dancer, Gordon Stone will be my third choice.
I'm going to go with AP Strike to beat Flying Arrow and Golden Stone.
All right, terrific. Okay, well, that's our show for the morning. Let's hope that we've helped you. Actually, before we go, we have to give our banker and our value bet. What is your banker, Shaheel?
I think the whole banker of Mauritius would be a White River, but to give a second one, probably I'll go with In Your Dreams too.
Okay, I'm going to go White River. I think, we went perplexing last week.
And what of his? Save us?
Yeah, well, I'm going to go White River, but I really like Till Dawn in the second race. Your value bet, have you got a value bet?
Yeah, in race 1, Silver Rock is trading around 800 rupees.
Okay, I'm going to go with Green Flash Sunset. I like the way that this horse has improved. I think he's going to give the favourite a run for his money. So I'm going to go Green Flash Sunset in the third race. That's going to be my value bet. All right, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you next week for Jour de Gala, Wednesday morning. Going to have a look at some of the training. Hopefully we can spot a couple of winners for you on Tuesday morning. Thanks very much for joining us. Bye-bye.